the social. Good.
Have a good one.
You have grown almost to my height in the
Bye,
span of a month since I last seen you.
Yeah.
Yo,
Come on,
Anyways, why is Jazz?
G'day.
I'm gonna get out of the way. What?
Oh,
Okay.
hey!
Yeah.
How you doing tonight?
Oh my
Jazz
God,
is
what's up?
gender bent, like
Yo,
for a guy or
I had someone won that won that
How you
lasso
doing tonight, bro?
challenge. Fucking good
You
job,
good,
man.
yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep it easy. Still recovering from the last fight, so still a little
Oh.
banged up.
Bad luck on losing that 20,000.
Well, cheers.
Yeah. I'll probably see you around later on tonight when I'm off. When I'm on break.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the bracelet?
When we put them cupcakes on, like leg, is that?
Leg. Especially how closely it replicates humanoid shape in general. Not to suggest that I'm lyric. I do apologize if that might be implication.
All of our comms are comms and communications, everything is compromised.
I think I'm seeing anyone I know.
Besides,
I'm not
getting
getting
anyone else that we know
involved,
that from us. Yeah, that is good. But do you know anyone from our side that was helping out with them in that war? Marshall, though he's one of the CEOs. I think Olivia tagged along a few missions, but she was. I know. A few times. But it was really awesome. But I know. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm sorry. Do you know how to play piano by chance?
Not really anyone then.
He's the last person because proxy don't count.
As a trick.
I was tempted by the promise of free beer.
I know. I know.
Do you want to lead me over to them and I can maybe convince them?
It's not gonna work.
All you have to do is tell them it's like you have pop rocks in your mouth the whole time.
I don't think he'll do it. He's too much of a bitch.
According to what I've been told, our comms communications.
He's a little quiet tonight.
Pulls out a phone. Or, you know what I mean? Like, let's see here. Where is it?
I didn't. I was not staring at her. I was trying to clarify. I was more not staring at
one
her.
thing about void
I have
beings that makes
friends
this
who
so
are
scary.
very
All that
interested
magical energy contamination nonsense.
There you go.
It's a bit more
G'day.
reasonable to think it's a
Hello, what would you like?
So just go.
Glass of rum, please. On the rocks. Oh,
That would be.
Okay, so who's that guy?
What would that be? That would be. Fuck. All right. 10 credits.
Good to know.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh no, you've taken over 4 minutes of my time. Dear. Oh, damn it. Deary me. What a terrible
Welcome back.
moment
What can I get you?
You take care.
I do.
Baby, no.
Let me get a whiskey, dear.
Whiskey. Do you want that on the rocks?
Yes, please.
Rocks with whiskey, not whiskey. Rum.
yeah. Cheers.
Rum ice.
Yep.
Thank you.
Why do people call ice rocks? Question just.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you are.
Just because it looks like diamond.
What do we do with ice?
Where is ice?
Here you go.
Okay. Now I actually have to walk around.
Arumi appears to be.
I tried to, immediately failed.
Maybe it had something to do with magic. Maybe it does not. Who could tell? But I'm certain they could
key factor in a
For
lot of
me,
bullshit.
actually, does not have anything to do with magic at all. Even though I'm very.
Okay.
He does appear to be no one I know personally.
Okay.
Acquaintances, a few.
Dun, 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 wait. Dun. Okay, I remember now. So, and when you get to the second part, you just go, do,
Yeah, you want $5?
do, do.
No.
I'm trying to remember. I'm getting a little bit foggy memory right now. I think it's because all the
If you
ghost
can't
rays I've
remember
been
this
getting,
shit,
man.
I'm not gonna remember this stuff.
Dude, all the ghost rays I've been getting lately, man, it's been crazy. My brain's just overflowing with fucking juices right now.
I guess that makes sense. But there's no way I'm gonna remember this like pattern here. It's like how.
Hmm.
Hey there.
Dailies are highly recommended.
Well, I've never been huge fans of dailies.
No, it's in there.
Personally.
Ah.
Very grindy.
Go see for yourself.
The door believes it is a waiting room.
That's not good.
For who, I wonder?
Hmm. Empty here too. Well,
They appear to be a construct.
Yeah.
They remind me of Exia.
hell's up to?
Knowing him, probably wishing he was free enough to visit with us.
Well, why? What's he busy with?
Probably writing more stuff for us to read.
I mean, he could relax anytime he wants to, though.
He could, but I think he has more of a drive behind him than I do.
Yeah. Alright, he's also probably researching as well.
Probably trying to get a hold of an alchemist to make a pill.
What I read in the chat logs, he was looking into getting some materials for doll. For some padded armor for her.
Indeed.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Also, a combat parasol.
Oh yeah, he said something about his sisters using those.
I've currently relegated a background process to the creation of the blueprint.
Understood.
It should be ready soon.
What are you gonna load with it?
Oh, hello.
Hello. Hope you guys are enjoying your stay here.
Greetings. Yeah, we are.
You as well.
Long time no see.
Wait, you're the
Yeah,
guy
okay.
who cleaned us that one night.
Yeah,
How's it going?
I think it was
Sophia.
Gordon, was it? Oh, Sophia. Sorry, my bad. I'm bad with names. It takes me a little bit to process them. And you're Blake, if I recall.
Yep.
There we go.
Please don't kick me. Fragile, and they will kick you up.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
How you doing, Ryan?
Was getting a big. But that never ended up happening, did it, Mason?
Hey.
Good eye, Percy.
Hey, well, like I said, the kitchen isn't open. I even asked. I went to the bar. Like, oh, when the kitchen's
How you
open,
doing?
we'll get you the bagel. So,
Oop.
whenever I get the
That
chance to
was
give you a
Sunday,
bagel.
wasn't it?
Right, I need to
Okay,
go
how
and
about
talk
this?
to someone.
Oh yeah.
This will be a debt that I owe you, right? Until I get the actual bagel, okay? Let's not put a date on when I can get it to you, but I will get it to you, okay? I'm good with I'm a man of my word. Yeah. Do you really want me to ask right now if I can get a bagel?
Yeah, get rejected again, just like my stomach when you didn't give me a bagel.
Ooh, roasted. Graham cracker. The weirdo stuff from over here. When licking hands, eating ass. Licking hands, eating
what?
What?
We're not eating. We're not talking about eating ass. We're talking about Sachis.
Why?
I'm
why
sorry,
are you talking
what?
about
Very
ass?
unsanitary.
What is this?
Because they
Is
make
licking
universes
hands,
with
eating
House
ass
of
mean
Flux.
something different in common?
No. It's just out of context conversations.
Do people literally eat butt cheeks? I do not understand this.
I'm not.
Very
I'm not
I-
convinced.
I'm not responsible for this.
They're referring to something
G'day.
else, but it is
No, I shouldn't say
possible for people to
God's sake.
consume
Hi.
them.
Excuse me.
I guess.
Can you hear me? Stop.
There's-
You're going
I'm
too
sure
fast.
there's some
You
kind
went
of
straight
control
past
for
security.
that.
You do not have a
Yeah.
wristband. Okay? I need to put one on you.
Yeah.
Oh, I had
But I'm
a.
sure it is possible.
Oh, I
'cause you
had a
could, like,
wristband.
eat
What happened was
I know.
I was
Right,
talking to
But
my
the
friend.
moment you go,
from an
the
animal.
moment you go outside, and you come back in, the wristband automatically falls off.
Hello.
So I need to give you another one.
that way before.
Okay? So can you go back to security?
Hello.
That was a scene. G'day.
Hello.
You just hearing your
You came
air
in
seating
at a,
conversation.
odd
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Caught my
Only the
attention.
best- Only the best out of context conversations in here.
Yeah.
Certainly.
We were just talking about
It's
Sachi
happened so
Sam
many
and
times
it causes
where I
loss
talked
and,
about my experience.
creates universe.
Oh yes.
Oh.
What were you gonna say?
No, you're fine. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I already finished. You go.
It's happened a lot where I've talked about my experience during the war and like me cutting people in half, and then people walk by and they're like, "What?"
I mean, ass can be
Give
pretty
at least some
distracting, yeah.
explanation.
That's the worst you've done.
No, I've done worse.
But common is not mother tongue, so part of it was me asking. 'Cause I'm not as I'm trying to keep up a little bit, but common is my second tongue.
Do you have?
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, Day,
tactical
if-
nuclear warheads?
Oh.
Warhead?
There you go.
Honestly, Day,
Did you ever
if
authorize
slicing
them?
someone in half was the worst thing you've done, I feel like I would have had a good chance of running up on close second.
But hello, I'm Oak. I would say full name, but it is
Total War is not
it is
happening.
rough around Saxon towns, and I'm told that Oak is good nickname.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, everyone calls me
Do
Coral.
you shake hands as to where you're
Especially
from?
when it's your own people.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Was not sure. But it is nice to meet
How
you,
you
Miss
doing?
Coral.
Yeah, good to meet you too. Oak?
It is Miss, correct?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Way of murder.
As of course I'm thinking in mother tongue, translating into common.
Keep that mentality for work
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Why tomorrow?
If you do not mind me asking, what are you?
Now I'm
But
a
you're not going to
aquatic
work
elf.
tomorrow.
You know, I'm from
For money?
Oh,
It's-
Okay.
hard to say the
I don't
name in
kill
common,
people.
but
No,
it's
I
from a
know.
land between Zealand and Strya.
Catch them.
Hello.
Yes.
But
Oh,
have the
that
right
makes
if you
sense.
want to
Aquatic
murder
I've
them.
heard
land.
of
Do you have the
aquatic
adrenaline in
elves,
case you get
as
hit?
you've put it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't happen to be referring to Atlantis, would you?
No, no,
Physicality to kill.
not Atlantis.
How are
No?
you?
Oh,
What?
all right. I've
it's
read
not
parts of
scary.
other material planes, so I was
Oh,
I don't know where it
well,
is.
said
I don't know how I got
between
here.
places that I've heard of.
So,
and so,
Day,
I'm native to
disregard my
this
I hope
assumption.
you feel better.
to this
how's
earth.
your VV
Good guy over there
situation?
said I'm in one of the layers of hell right now. Am I?
Yeah.
And I'm not
Your
native
VV
here
situation.
whatsoever.
I've been in a
I guess
layer
best way to
of hell,
explain
and I
it
don't
is
think
that
so.
my home realm is
Okay.
between
You know,
the
you
elemental
have
plane of
green
air
blessed
What's
VV
my
and the
situation.
material plane itself. It is like war on the elemental plane of
Oh,
air.
you're
I
not
was like
there.
walking
It's called
Yeah.
Dunkin'
Nioki.
Donuts.
This beautiful
Where
land.
is that? Is it like a
Oh.
planet?
Right.
Mhm.
I feel like we should follow him.
It's a city.
You'll find an invisible person. They are very stacked.
Place with
Well,
a
he has
lot
to
of
get
It
used
buildings.
to
is.
it.
It
he's
is not
gonna
a
do
sight
it, he
I'm
has
too
to get used to it.
dissimilar with. Mori women tend to be rather round, to put it lightly.
So
Yeah.
like a city.
It's not,
This place is called the Purple Lotus.
Big surprise.
Not very good.
Rander than
Actually,
I'd
the
like
Lotus
to be. I
is
think I'm gonna have
pretty
to
stacked.
Are we on like Earth?
speak to a doc soon.
We are.
In the way that the
Okay.
feelings I am feeling.
Oh.
But either way, it was Oh, sorry.
Sure.
Sometimes I like to undo my wings from my back. You know?
It is
Oh, yeah.
the most scariest single thought I've ever
dreaming or
had.
something?
There's a lot of open space here, and I'm just trying to make sure not to hit anyone.
Yeah, don't worry about that little one behind you. He's a little close.
Yes, that is mostly what I was worried about. I was talking about some sort of sword made of life, made of actual radiance.
Very
That
much
burns
so.
bodies
Oh.
on fire.
I'm Ida.
Especially when you're
That's interesting.
aren't afraid to die.
So I wanted to make sure I didn't bump into them. 'Cause I know they confiscate weapons, but I don't know if they know that that is weapon. But he's not,
I hope to the
I
force every
guess,
single day.
not shakily handed about
General
it.
or
So I'm not too worried.
master or somebody else.
Yeah.
The master
Yeah.
or herself
Very
walks
different
through
from the
doors
weapons
and it
back
has to be
home.
done. But that's not happening.
I've always
And
I've
I
always
just
lived
have
like
to
this.
wait.
So
Yeah.
but
I mean, I've recently taken up a hard light spear. It's very different to use.
Is there any specific
really-
way that you
no,
know how to contact
you're
them?
fine.
normally?
Taking up a what? Sorry?
people
Hard
have
light
asked if I'm
spear.
a ghost or if
I've
I'm like
been reaching
possessed
out
slows.
But
But
Hard
Force
light
ever since
spear.
I've gotten here.
No, I'm
Everyone
just
is
like
coming
a
up with their
ghost
own
being
various
asked if
light
you were dead.
relating.
So,
I don't know.
Well,
Most people
I'm-
just
I'm-
find a way
I'm-
to elementally
and I-
infuse weapon
I didn't
or
want to be the one
power
to
it
tell you.
via their god or
Yeah.
some other
Somebody,
means.
it's
You know,
almost as
I-
if
Yeah,
I'm
my
alive.
kind can't really
I,
interact with magic.
on a
I think-
platform sending out a
Well, not
radar
arcane
for
anyway.
You look like
We're not very
Sorry.
theistic. Not these days,
I
anyway.
understand that.
Still very.
Do you
I understand that. It is just
anyone can
motherland
use
is a
the
bit,
Force,
Like where in the world are
I
we?
Yeah.
guess
Are we, like, in
traditional in that
America?
sense. You know.
And
Yeah.
Force is more like
So-
magic here.
I don't know.
That
There.
and the gods
Um,
interfere
someone
too
real
often to
or
be
the
written off
Force
as
and
I don't know
magic
where we are.
are
not real, if that
Person
makes
doesn't
sense.
talk.
sort of
Oh,
No one
yeah.
seems to know where
It
we
is
are.
hard to
We
know.
acknowledge that
Some
they're
people
there. I
think
mean,
it's Europe, other people
That
think it's
or-
America.
I've had
some
to-
people think it's Japan.
I've had
but
to
there's
walk
definitely
someone
not
to their
Japan.
god
It'd be
before,
funny, though.
Go to a
which
temple.
was
They're
There are
kind of
no
like
temples on
Okay.
this
interesting
So
experience.
this is
We
like
had to
I imagine so, yes.
negotiate
Not
payment
exactly the same,
many
but also
times
not
because he
that
kept
far
leaving out
Well,
information.
It's
No.
one of the Earths.
I do not believe so.
Apparently, there's like a
Maybe-
bunch.
Yeah.
maybe if you find someone
mad
I do not like
War,
negotiations. They
nothing
get so
will do these things that has to do
tiresome,
with the
no?
Force.
Yeah, I'm not very good at them, so I
Granted,
have
they're
a.
not much-
the
My friend
whole
Faye usually
metaverse
handle
is
it.
kind of weird
magical
with
enough.
all the different
I
universes.
certainly
and all that.
understand
A little bit
that.
about Force.
As part
was
of
like-
job, I am
Maybe they
far
can
more
help
of
you.
doer than I am talker of any
Metaverse.
And
sort.
try
I
to
have.
get in
So
contact
there's
Oh,
with
I have
them.
your fucking using
Hmm.
the
Oh,
This
yeah.
person.
So,
There you go.
I also have a charge
Yep.
now, so I have to deal with that.
What's
Yeah,
the
I'm not
difference?
too
I
great
guess
at
I feel a
talking.
little
Is this like a
strange, I
different name for a
guess.
universe or?
Oh, sorry.
I am not technically.
I'm not too
in
great
the
with
universe
talking
I'm
personally.
on, So I have
Oh,
a
so it's
charge.
like-
Oh, I know we're having all negotiations, and I'm like, can't we just
Yeah,
fucking
sort
kill her
of.
already?
It's like a bunch of different connected realities and all that weird stuff.
Certainly,
It's
I
kinda
would probably
complicated and
agree with
goes
you
over
more
my
on
head a
that
lot.
end.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
much easier
I've
just
been
to
sent
pull out
Did
a
you
blade
ever,
and get to
dimensions.
stabbing than to
decide on
Exactly.
worry about
for
other
going
such
too far?
things.
Yeah, what gets really
Especially
weird is
when you
like
are unseen.
sometimes you're gonna like find things here that you've like seen in movies and stuff
There is a
before,
thrill
but they're
in the
kind of
hunt.
like real.
At least I think so.
What time do we want to leave?
Oh, yeah.
Entirely up to you.
Yeah.
That is probably why I enjoy my job so much.
From what
Which
I
I am on
understand from my
vacation
homeschooling,
from for the
this
time being.
planet we're on right now
To
is
explore
sort
the
of
other
like
material
a hub
planets.
for the metaverse, where like all points connect or whatever.
Because I saw the Force Ghost of Master
Yeah.
Qui-Gon, and I could have asked him, but I
Master Qui-Gon.
forgot.
I mean, hey, if you
Oh,
ever
Maybe
taken a
it's
contract,
like
go ahead and give me a ring. You have a phone,
Yeah,
yeah?
there's like some of those jetty people or whatever.
I do
These are
not,
on your
but
phone.
I've also
now
asked
that I know
Vivi
your
to
name,
remind me of
I can
the
have
Force
someone
Ghost.
contact you via your mind.
Right.
So,
I see.
should
Okay,
not
then.
be problem.
Yes.
Certainly.
I
Are you a fighter of some
hi.
sort?
wanted to know if you're a Jedi.
Yeah, right now I'm doing a spear and shield.
You're a Jedi?
Used to
Jedi's
just
exist
swing
in this
around a
world?
big
Yes.
fuck off inca, but
Well, I'm not sure about
Shenanigans.
here, but where I'm from, they exist. Yes.
So,
no, they exist here,
spear and
but
shield
I haven't
now.
been able to find anyone.
I believe.
Okay.
I myself, I believe word for
in my
it
world,
in
they're like a
common is
movie series that
ranger.
came out in, like, the
I
70s.
believe. I'm not too
We
familiar
are also
with it.
movie series here.
There is other word for it, and even
It is
then,
very,
it is
it's
not
very
what I am
odd to watch a
called on
slightly
job.
bastardized version of your
I am
own.
Kogranoska, which I believe in common translates
Yeah,
to
'cause
mist
you, like,
walker.
live
The motherland has many mists spread about it.
I am from
It
a
is,
era called the
is-
Clone Wars era.
You can't go too far without still being close to sea to some extent.
Oh,
So
I see.
that is why there is a lot of mystical.
Do you know, like,
Suppose I'd be considered a bit of a berserker.
I'm aware of what
You know,
happens.
whole
I'm still not
raging and
also
everything into a fight.
I'm
We
still
get
not
stronger when I'm
sure
angry.
who won the Clone Wars, as nobody has
No, I
told me.
understand that. I've seen that a few times. There have been even a few avatars
yeah,
of various
that's-
gods that act like that.
I think that's something.
Like in Motherland, we have God of Rage,
I
Violence,
know that the
Vengeance, and
Republic doesn't
Justice.
exist
His name is
anymore.
Nuzkar.
I know that the Separatists don't
He takes
exist
a decent
anymore.
amount of avatars of his own
I know
vengeance.
about
What are some
the
movies
treachery.
You know, that's that sort of thing. So,
She's Palpatine.
Right.
granted, what is it? There's even been. There has even been a kind of berserker that has been able to use
Alright,
their
so
mind
they were
to hurt
lying
people.
when they said
Wow.
that
Very
people from
interesting.
movies.
Yeah, I've been hearing about psionics recently. I don't think that's
I'm also
suited to me. I'm not very much of a brainy type.
Alright. Okay.
I certainly understand that, and it is not like they seem to be particularly smart, but it is more that their physical fortitude translates to a mental fortitude as well.
I had mine,
Oh.
and then I
As,
found,
at least as far as I
I
have
was
seen,
given a
it was
crystal,
developed by the Dear Nevian of
blooded
the
crystal.
Motherland, which the Dear Nevian,
Ah.
they are demon folk of a sort. Their history is a bit sad. I'd
Wow.
get into it, but it is kind of long, unless you're interested.
But I'm sorry, what?
I mean, if we can take a seat, sure.
Oh, certainly. Pick whatever you'd like.
It's my usual friends on around, so seat would be nice. Some stories.
Certainly sit whatever
It's
you'd
actually
like,
normal,
yes.
because those exist where I came from.
Yeah.
I'm studying the movies based on your own training.
I see.
Whew.
There are several studies.
But, yes.
How much people
So, I guess I probably should give context to what all this whole.
fictional.
So, in the very beginning, there was just, you know, the wart on the elemental plane of air. It is even believed by some people that have been, or some scholars and researchers, that it might have been the elemental plane of air trying to push into the material plane to become part of it, but it failed. At least that is main theory.
Trained their entire life. It pisses me off.
And so as such,
And that
in the
takes a great
very
deal of effort
beginning,
to do.
a few primordial beings, namely some gods, some
G'day, gorgeous.
other strange entities.
Can't
Oh,
believe
sorry?
they fucking killed your master.
What?
It's so good to see.
But that's only
Hi.
How is this table
Hello.
treating you?
Like the last 3 movies.
Quite
I'm
nice.
gonna be honest, that's probably like the best thing I've heard today.
Oh, don't I mean interrupt? I'm just having a bit of a listen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
on. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it is perfectly fine. But in the beginning, besides those beings entering Naoki, there was one of immense magic.
A long while.
Name is I forget name.
I'm not from.
Admittedly, a little bit difficult with remembering his name in particular. It might come back to me, but
After.
basically, point
the
is
rebellion.
that he came to Naoki.
Yes.
This being's god of immense power.
Okay.
And along with that of Vetukla, or as she's called the Wing Mother,
My
I
bad.
believe
I
in
kinda
common.
assumed because I had seen you hanging out
But
with
she
that
is the
big guy a
patron
lot,
goddess of Mori and of Naoki itself.
No, he is not
Along
a
with her help, she helped make the Mori. And from then on, along with a few other gods being made here or there was always Razeslo.
So,
She's
Do you have
she's
to wear
demonic
this
in nature.
specific kind of clothing? Like it look this
And as
way?
such,
or does it have
she's
to be
always been
this
very jealous
specific
of the
fabric?
gods and of just the success of Naoki as a whole. She's always
So it has to
tried to
look
plot
exactly
against
like
it
that.
for something of her own.
Correct.
And after a millennia of having to deal with
Does
it,
it
and
matter the
they
One
fabric?
of the characters in those movies? or no?
Vitrukla and her wisdom
No.
decided to approach Razeslo with what I believe in common is called an olive branch. I believe that is metaphor, that is term. There's
I don't
other
really
words.
think
remember
so.
much of it, but I like the guy with the tentacle hair.
But basically something of a ceasefire, maybe? Might
Ah,
call it,
yeah.
but,
Kid Festo was.
she offered to Razeslo her own realm and her own people for her
Parley,
to...
yeah.
I mean, I've
To parlay,
Still in
yes,
shock.
that is way to put it.
I'm questioning things, but I'm not at this point. I mean,
And
I'm
so...
pretty sure there's like a
What
full-
are the exact
Ah,
wording?
Kozelkni, that was the name of other god. Kozelkni, excuse me.
What was your question? My apologies.
He is sort
What
of
is
the
the
god of
exact
nature.
wording of the role of your
At least as
clothes?
a whole. But regardless.
Well, it is written in Jedi.
So,
I try not to.
Razeslo accepted the offer.
Translation Ashrabesh is difficult.
In giving her and Vetrukla, along with some of the help of the other gods, gave her own realm and her own people. And yet, she still abandoned it and
Nice to meet you.
just said never mind.
Nice to meet you too.
So her realm,
My name is Carfield.
which in common is called the Demon Realm, is a wasteland.
Terrorist.
A land of almost perpetual darkness. And its people, the Nevian, are, well, they're almost, in silhouette at least, look a lot like Mori. They just don't have wings, and they look like they're made of obsidian, I believe.
Shall match the Jedi
Is
of
the mineral.
Thank you.
They look like they're made of obsidian.
A simple cloak.
I fuck with too, bro.
And unfortunately, they have to live through all of that. It is a land overflowing with undead and demonic presence all the same. It is a wasteland, almost. And so,
My name is Carfield.
their specific path of the mind render, as they call it, was developed in which to help them survive such places.
I've heard some good things
What?
about you, bro.
Hence why they had to turn
She's
the
a
rage
what?
into something
Good to hear.
psionic
I don't know.
as
She
a whole.
did.
Oh.
I pulled her,
Nice to meet you
and
as
then
well.
she bit my finger in the process.
Garfield.
My name is Carfield. Garfield Carfield.
But yeah,
And then they typed, oh, I didn't.
and there's a decent amount of the Nevian and Naoki proper, but there are many of them that are still trapped in
No, I'm
the
in the
demon realm.
You know,
So,
So I don't really know.
someone
what
fighting
to
you
do.
is not good.
it is very sad.
Yeah.
Admit it.
Made a mistake.
A lot of them tend to be rather devoted to the gods of Naoki is when they get out.
Medicine on the finger and
They
wrap
feel
it.
like that they were the ones that helped God.
It's
It's
just like
you know,
I'm a
they're
detective.
very
around
grateful
this
to the gods.
Zephyr City.
Terrorist.
Zephyr City is most likely is
Hmm.
mostly an entity.
But yes.
You are aware of what that is.
I believe we have something in common as
There's everything and everything. Just don't go to Lower Zephyr.
It's
Oh, sorry,
interesting.
I'm done. Just,
Yeah. No, yeah.
Seem to be leaping out of your seat.
Oh,
and granted, that is more recent development. I would say, in the last
But,
1,000 years that
Day,
happened,
it seems that
probably.
you just have to wear
Hmm.
the
I think.
cloak from the wording.
So it's a new skill then.
That's kind of messed up, man.
Unfortunately,
I just mean the
I
Nevian's
was given a
appearance,
choice.
Wow.
or is the Nevian's general appearance in Naoki in general.
To when you are a young
As
you
the
have to-
mind render, as they call
not a
it.
choice. You
Is,
have to wear
something
this.
more of a. It is almost
When
as
you
old
become
as they
a
are.
Padawan, you are given a choice.
They
of
seem to have
wear
some
what you
rather
want,
receptive to it. It's
or
not that others
respect
can't
tradition
learn.
of this.
It is just that they are more
A great
sensitive
deal
to
of young
things.
ones, after only wearing one thing for their
Hmm.
life,
Have a whole
choose the way this.
experience of pride.
It is like
So
psionics in
you-
general.
You may
Just
have
certain
Yeah, like,
individuals tend to it more than others.
In order to change
Mind player versus a human, yeah.
get a free drink.
and more often than not they just approve it because it's just
Certainly.
paperwork.
Totally go do that.
Unless that human is given
Hmm.
tadpole and it becomes
It's
mind
just,
flayer anyway.
Yeah.
or a matter of
It
disrespect.
doesn't count, doesn't he? You become a completely different person.
What happens if this gets tattered and like destroyed?
I had to deal with extracting a tadpole one time. It was not
as much as you
pleasant.
can.
Oh.
I actually I
From a
only
dwarven
repaired
companion.
my
It was very hectic.
first cloak,
Something goes in my mouth.
and
They
I
almost
only got
died
a new
too.
cloak and
Thankfully, they are alright.
robes.
They were getting to point where it was starting to get a
3
bit
years ago.
disgusting.
Like,
to put it
if
lightly.
someone
They were retching up blood a
Because I
lot.
went before the chancellor, and he looked at me. He
The
looked
only
at my
mind
clothes,
player
and
I've
he
ever
said, "Don't
fought
we have
was
enough
a
money to give this fucking kid a
really
new
old
cloak?"
cunt, you know.
like there would be
I'm concerned of how you wash
Sorry,
this.
it's like
Oh, I wash it.
my
Yeah,
skin
Southern Hemisphere, we talk a bit harsh. Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
It is whatever.
Yeah.
I'm still here. Like I have
Do
eyes
you
and
like
a mouth and
any other set
Um,
other than this?
So he was an
Or do
old
they only
fuck,
give you
right?
one set of-
Honestly, he probably would have died if we just left him there another year or two. He was on a contract I took a
Once you
few
get
years back.
permission to wear other clothing, I'm taking you shopping.
Very strange that there was no hive attached to him, but there is always the odd mind
Probably
flayer
in
that is
exile or
by
something.
themselves.
Yeah, so we're taking
Yeah.
you shopping so you can get many different clothing.
Wasn't really too
So,
worried
keep
about the
getting
how
into
and
the
why,
Yes, I happily go.
but it's in this old
That's why I've been asking. Whenever I am able
This
to
is
go to
actually
Lotus, and I ask the spirits if they are able to.
an aquatic, an underwater contract for once, which is right for me. You know, swimming and everything.
They are dead.
Certainly.
If they are able
So we're in this
and they say
sunken,
that they're not able
I suppose, in common cave that is, it was probably about
But yes,
600 feet below.
Spark.
So it was pretty dense and pretty
Done with your
rough being down there, of
conversations,
course.
leave
But
whenever you wish.
Are you okay with that?
we were down there. He had a whole bunch of these like mutated sharks guarding his cave.
The same happened to me.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to at least see sharks up close because they
Why
do
don't
not
we go
exist in
meow
IoT
at the
shores.
cars?
Yeah, let's go do that. So.
Yeah.
We'll go meet her.
I guess some of them are pretty and alright. But these are like you take a goblin shack. You ever heard of a goblin shack?
By rules and protocol for most things.
I know what goblins are.
For many
It pretty much is a shark
surprisingly-
that looks like it has a goblin's head.
Oh, you said goblin shark. I thought you said
Yeah, yeah.
goblin shack. Excuse me.
No, no. Yeah.
Goblin shark. I do believe I've heard of those. Yes.
Yeah. So that was like the
Are they
base
the
of it.
ones where their teeth kind of repeatedly grow out and they kind of
Yeah.
grow in? Yes.
It's all gnarly all over. And the jaws just spew out. They've got that long fucking nose. But it was probably about a dozen of them. But they had like tentacles and shit. Right? Now I'm figuring this guy was probably some sort of artificer fucking with him or something. But those were basically his guard dogs. We were able to put them all down. And we got rid of him. They wanted us to bring back his staff, but I think the thing was broken by the time we got it, so didn't get paid as much as we were supposed to.
It is rather unfortunate to hear. I suppose none of my stories are too interesting besides my people's history, as most of my time has been spent in the motherland and like solving problems that would come up. At least as Kogronoska anyway, so.
I mean, hey, any story's a story, yeah?
Well, there was one instance where there was a few humans that were holding up a few Mori, much to my own surprise, at least somewhat. I guess they'd gotten a drop on them or something like that. And well, they sent me in as well as a few others to cover, mostly. Krevinstri, Mukurashi, Oh, sorry, right. Common translations would be Sea Strider and Icar Evoker.
Oh, yeah.
I do not know if you know what those are, but Sea Striders, they would be as comfortable with water as you are.
Yeah.
To put it lightly. Whereas Icar Evokers are able to use the lifeblood of those around them to heal and harm. Sort of like combat medic shock troopers, I believe term would be.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
they make for good backup. So I was sent in. It wasn't that hard to sneak past them. Humans don't tend to notice what's right in front of them half the time. Might have been a little bit too easy, but it was a simple case of throwing down smoke bomb, getting in, slitting throats, that sort of thing. I was
Oh,
able
yeah.
to get them out safely. There you are. And without really any of them noticing. Even the people that I got out of there. Well, one of them noticed me because I thought I was by myself, but or I thought the thing that I like to do immediately after I get done with a mission is to go find a stream to wash off. It sounds strange, but there is something really nice and relaxing about taking a bath at a stream. It's hard to describe.
Well, nothing I like more after a
especially
long mission on land.
And so, I was, I guess you could call it skinny dipping, I believe they call it, but, I was bathing. I was actually washing myself. I wasn't just, being in there to be in there. And the young woman that I had rescued, along with her or the young woman of the three that I'd rescued, had, I guess, followed me. And I won't lie, things got a little intimate. Little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But that is at least typical. Otherwise, it is mostly tracking down any traces of any undead or demonic incursion, as those are unfortunately kind of common, especially in the history of Nyoki. As I was explaining to Miss Vivi a bit ago, who is half succubus, I would probably have to accompany her if she were to return to Motherland. As,
Guessing the
if you are undead, it
that
is
one.
not it is land. It is land. There is strong winds, but it is actual land. It is very large island, in fact, which is surrounded by nice velvet oceans. It is very nice. But basically, it is just that undead are frowned upon, to put it lightly. Same as necromancy, especially. So there is that.
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing.
Certainly, but way more than what I've seen of other places. And admittedly, that's probably because we've had to deal with so many liches and would-be liches over centuries and eons and the like, as a people.
Yeah.
So, there is that.
And apparently they were like, I'll pay you 20 credits
So.
if you lick someone's finger. I'm like, and I pushed between the two people.
Well, you gave me a bit of a history lesson. Suppose I could give you some.
So I asked the doll here, or no,
Certainly, go right ahead.
I'll just try to remember it off of old school teaching here.
So I taped it to my face, and I went
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, fine. Some millennia ago, there was... I don't remember the old name for it, but there was a nation, in roughly the place where I described to you, that was home to the shore elves, right? They lived on a nice little island between Australia and New Zealand. And they had amazing magical skills with shaping the water. And they could without even casting a net, they could reel in a bunch of fish.
Do that, man. Let's go, doll. We're going to the bar. Grabs her hand.
And this part of the history is a bit hazy, there's not a lot of specifics on it, but the drow did something that sunk the island.
Do you know where I can find a pickle to munch on?
The waves claimed the shore elves. Those who didn't drown were mutated, right? They lost their connection with our arcane. Granted, can breathe underwater. Many of us can't breathe on land anymore for very long times.
Flabbergasted. Classic act. My tongue, my fake tongue numbed. Classic.
And obviously, elves stricken without magic, that's like a mass tragedy, right? Especially when they relied on it to live.
Certainly, it is like Mori without wings. I understand.
Yeah.
Alright, whatever.
So,
I'm gonna go get my key.
more people had to adapt.
God damn it, Cole!
Had to adapt. Fuck, where was I?
Had to adapt.
Right.
Elves without
Then we-
magic, absolute travesty. Yes.
Having to deal with this, a new threat as well, after being finally gaining our foothold in the water. Sahagin.
I have heard
Or
of those.
as we call them, fish heads. Well, these days, most of our people don't believe they're even real, just like fairy tale, pretty much, right? But those who have, those who have gone through their military training, you know, Royal Army, such, you know, that's sort of like, they actually have to deal with, these days anyway, keeping them out of the city. So they know that they're still there. The Sahagin would bring their armies of sharks and everything, and ravage our old nations. And it took a long time for us to get really get our start. Many of our people were scattered across the seas, founded new homes far away from the homeland. If you can really call it a land when it's sunken, yeah?
There is ground underwater. It is
Yeah.
very far down. So close enough, you know.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Fascinating.
Yeah, we had to fend them off. I've actually fought two. They were scouts, and that was right at the end of my training, actually. We just kind of ran into them, and it almost gave us some real trouble, and Captain ordered everyone to get them before they could get away, so they couldn't give their leaders any information, right? And then, well, that part, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth in time between my history and
I
the
understand.
story. It's confusing, I know.
I'm not a great storyteller, right? So I understand.
Yeah. But yeah. They weren't obviously... Interesting, they weren't really a problem. Like, they weren't really spoken of at all in, like, our earliest history, as far as being sunken. It took time for that for them to turn up. It's like, I assume they started aggressively claiming territory, and that must have been it. And we just happened to be in the way of it. Turns out they caused trouble for a lot of the aquatic races around there. they apparently like eating
They
just
are
about
not
everything.
known for their kindness.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what I've heard from reports as well. So I'm not too surprised. So not to interrupt
Yeah.
you, just
No, you're fine. And yeah, we started banding together with the other aquatic races to fend them off and fight them off until it was decently clear. Centuries go by, we're establishing ourselves, and then you know how they I suppose you don't because you're from another world, but the seas were getting heavily polluted, which caused the bleaching of the Great Barrier Reef and killing off a lot of it.
I'm guessing.
Ooh,
I'm
that was
guessing
flux.
because of humans. Yes.
Yeah, humans.
Certainly,
But
I've heard bits and pieces of
Yeah.
this. Because there are a lot of scholars that like to go out to different parts of material planet and study them. Of course,
yeah.
in secret. It is best to keep Motherland hidden. I don't mind talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
it here, though, as there are very good others here that have scouted out this material plane. So this one is deemed alright to know. So it is fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were saying.
Over the last 400 years, roughly, our people have been working aggressively to restore it because, it does go through our heartland. And we've gotten it to extend further than it originally was, all the way down into the Tasman Sea. So, we've done some great work there. Around there. And there was a whole synth situation as they started becoming more popular, Everyone wants their nice little butler robot, right? In the early, what was it? 1200? No, not 1200. The 2200s, that's right. Right around there, they were
Certainly
starting to
rather
become
fascinating.
Yeah, they were starting to become more popular. And they were building these factories. Apparently, factories that didn't need anyone to operate them to build these service bots, right? You can see where that kind of model went wrong. They used AI to run those factories.
Right.
Yeah,
It
no,
seems
humans
like
aren't
bad
very
idea
smart. Yeah,
because-
yeah.
Yes, it seems like they just like to bring things to ruin. In fact,
Yeah.
back home there is it is very bad that back home there is entire monument to humans purely because they were very frightened of this one group was very frightened of my people. And so they gave us no choice and we had to slaughter them. So monument is there because, well, everyone felt bad afterwards. It was slaughter. But they gave us no choice.
Oh, yeah.
Humans just never make smart moves. Never.
You try to tell them that they don't know where they stand. And they just go, we'll show you where we stand, and they'll pull out their biggest weapons, and they will go to the ends of the earth. Fucking crazy. And even though they would be clearly losing and giving the opportunity to surrender, they will just continue on. They're crazy.
Yes.
Mongoose!
I believe it is called Napoleon Complex. They call it, I
Yeah.
think. Right? Something.
Named after their own little hero, yeah.
Actually, I think he was average height for time. So I don't know. I looked into some
Elves,
histories.
so.
Not all of them, but certainly. But either way.
I'm actually quite short for my people, actually. Yeah.
I'm average height for my kind at 7'6".
Oh yeah.
People are saying that I'm a little bit shorter than that, but I don't know.
4'6", 4'7" in these heels
Maybe just
roughly. How much is it? A 5-inch heel?
who knows? I understand that. And I guess I was a little bit interested, but your people. Is your only biological advantages just being able to breathe underwater? Or just
Well,
can we help you?
we have
Do you need
foresight.
something?
Oh?
Sorry, there was a person just being little strange. It's kind of creeping, just peeping around the corner. But you were saying farsight? Yeah?
Yeah, we've got they refer to as farsight, kind of like how most other elves have dark vision, right? But we have twice the range for our normal vision and for dark vision.
Sort of like a drow, except for everything.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, pretty much. We have enhanced hearing in the water, and
Makes
obviously, well,
really good swimming. Yes.
we normally do have fins going between our fingers, but I trim mine away. It's not really veiny fins, so it's no big deal to trim it, but yeah.
It is just it is not normal for you. Yes.
Nah, it's easier to spend time around the surface, you know, the air breathers, when you don't have fins. You know, when you look
Certainly,
more like their normal elf, I actually used to cover up my gills, actually. So I'll just look like a
I
normal
believe
elf.
they've made I do believe they make devices nowadays, in certain realms to cover up gills and to hydrate them. So that way you do not need time away from water. Let us see. I met one man that I think would more accurately be called Triton, perhaps, not a sea elf. Name was Abe Sapien, I believe. Had such a device like that. It looked a little bit more like an actual fish compared to you. And he would walk around with that. He was a nice man. I liked him. His partner was a little grouchy, but I think we saw eye to eye on being viewed as demonic. Because I think to most humans, my kind looks demonic. Not that this is only color we come in, mind you. But it is that, you know, we are big, we have wings.
Yeah.
Humans are afraid of many things. So.
But doesn't have their human flesh tones and it's got some extreme feature. It must be from the depths of hell.
Oh, and especially if it has fangs. Especially.
Especially.
I suppose you should not be the only one to just kiss and tell. So, for Mori anyway, there's a few things. Obviously, we tend to be bigger than humans. I think the shortest of our kind tend to be about 5'10", if that's any indication.
Oh yeah.
And besides that, we are able to, let us see, blood that is not of our own acts like what I believe the chemical is called adrenaline. To us specifically. And as such, it is almost instinctual that we know where to aim on mammalian bodies and the like, in terms of our fangs. But culturally speaking, it is taboo to indulge in blood, like extravagantly. And I do not know if that might have been means in which to make ourselves seem more friendly to humans and others, but
Imagine
it is
being
mostly
confused
that
with the
what
old
is
vampire
reserved.
isn't very nice, yeah.
Yes, certainly. And maybe that is why, perhaps, as I've said, my people do not like undead in any way, shape, or form for the most part.
Yeah.
And so, I do not know if it might be that or if it might be something else, but it is something in that it is saved for special occasions or if cornered. Something
Right.
of last resort. Is it, well, it is something, it makes Mori go into something similar to Berserker Rage as you had said, but perhaps a little bit more controlled. If that makes sense. It makes perceptions faster. It makes time seemingly slow down. That sort of thing. We also have very long tongues. Not that I would demonstrate because I've heard that it's a little rude, because we enjoy nectar. Because flower nectar is
yeah.
rather nice, actually. But besides that, we can both siphon blood from others and also inject blood into others with our fangs. And they like. And besides that, obviously we have very good perception. That sort of thing. And I think some people expect other things because, well, I've heard that apparently bats are blind, but it is like they are? They seem rather perceptive to me from what I've seen of some of the material planes, including what sounds like the one you are from.
What they teach where I'm back at home is humans will come up with the dumbest phrases, right? Like blind as bat. Bats have excellent sight. Better than humans.
Better than humans, exactly.
Yeah. But right. That's where I was with the story, right? Obviously, we've been stripped of
Go ahead.
our biggest benefits, right? Like, yeah, we can like I'd count people a mile away in a lineup, right? But it still doesn't make up for, a lack of magic, or at least millennia ago, you don't really have the benefits of long-range harpoon guns and harpoon cannons. So, we had to deal with, so, some of our people found a way around that little drow curse thing. Can't use arcane magic, obviously. What they found was, instead of using mana as a fuel, and these are the ones that became what we call hags, at least in the common tongue. It's not an exact translation, they're not fey creatures. But
they
are
look a
people
lot
that
like
are
them,
yeah, they've been mutated, they use soul siphoning type magics. Obviously this is fairly forbidden sort of things. It's very dark stuff, fucking with the dead and using them as fuel, right? But
yes, literally.
It's an edge, right? So ended up coming with thing.
And
it is forbidden for more than
people for doing so.
Yeah. It is forbidden for more than one to really congregate within a city. So that's the one thing that has helped keep the numbers down. They haven't. It's a fairly difficult thing to figure out. Like we're never taught it in education, obviously. We're just taught.
Well, it is forbidden.
Don't fuck with it. Yeah. It's like
I understand why.
having the special persons of the state, right? Because these people have the special exception because they are making the weapons for the state. Basically, like, they're the only ones that can do enchanting and such forth. They're the ones that know how to make magical poultices that still work without infusing mana into them. So they've got their niche little market, effectively.
Certainly, and I guess in some ways that does remind me of some of the druids back home. There is an entire circle that leans a little bit more into arcane traditions, mixing with the natural order of druidic magics and the like. It reminds me
Yeah.
a little bit of that, and it is granted little bit different. And while necromancy is frowned upon, it is not exactly taboo through certain means back home, admittedly. We have a god, Vistrosko. He is the god of spores and fungus, but if you want to get technical, he's sort of god of the dead, but people do not refer to him as such because the whole history of undead and the like.
Yeah.
Little bit disrespectful. At least culturally is seen as such. It's a little disrespectful. But druids and clerics under his guise normally will raise dead. Or animate dead. Right. But it will be only for the most menial of tasks, or only for just specific encounter, and then they will be dismissed immediately. So in limited amounts it is alright, as long as it is actually sanctioned by Vistrosko and the like. As he is seen as ultimate authority upon such.
You don't
And
really
of
want to
course, at
argue
least,
with your
those
gods.
Certainly, we do not, and well, it is a lot easier to tell his undead apart from others because they're normally
Yeah.
covered in fungus. A lot easier to tell apart.
Yeah.
Especially when they have fungal growths coming out the face and the like. It is a little bit freaky, admittedly, but you get used to it. It is not that bad. They're kind of cute in a way. At least some. You know, the
Yeah.
same way that the shark is kind of cute, even if it is dangerous. You know.
Yeah.
All those sharks are actually adorable. They act like puppies, kind of. At least some of
Yeah.
them do. But
I'm
anyway.
told that the ones that do side with this Hogan are basically like blood rage sharks, but most of the sharks I've interacted with killed a few for food, of course, you know. Life goes. They're not that bad. Except that Greenland sharks. Never trust a Greenland shark. Those things will
Reminds me back
corkscrew you.
home,
Like you will look like a corkscrew when it lets go of you.
Oh, that is what you mean. Oh.
Yeah.
Granted, the sea life of Naoki is not that intense. It is mostly land fauna. Honestly. There are these things called vochi back home. They are a bit... Let us see. I think best way to call them would be wasp. I think that is word in common. Wasp. But they are like about this. They are about as big to the ground up to here. Normally, in terms of height, they have blackish bluish carapace with like orange wings and eyes. Really bad poison to get hit by. And as well, their blood is flammable. So they have caused many problems. That and they are sort of a predator to our pack animals back home. They are called the pavum. They are adorable. Some people take umbrage with them because apparently there are much smaller versions of them in other material planes. Apparently in common, the smaller versions are called tarantulas. Apparently.
Oh, spiders. Well, fake spiders anyway.
Well, very specifically that kind. Yes. But the pavum are adorable. And you can my kind has even found way to form mental link with them through blood.
Why are you running from me?
It is actually a very easy process. Just mix a bit of your own blood, utter a prayer to Vetruklan. It is very easy. Very simple. You can just speak to them without even having to utter, or without having to even think about it, really. As strange as that is.
Hang on.
But they're adorable.
I can fix this. Hang on, look at me.
Even though they tend to be about 10 feet tall, I think at their biggest.
More ice.
I said more ice, not fluoride.
Oh!
Very useful.
Fucking gassed me.
Yeah.
Interesting device you have.
Wait, hold on there.
Yeah, it's my phone. Well,
Wait.
suppose you'd call it a computer technically in this format, but not having a separate keyboard, I consider it a phone.
Ah.
Why does my ear feel weird?
Plus, it has a
I do
phone mode
apologize,
anyway.
but
I just
I
don't
will-
use it that way.
Who touched it?
Certainly. I am not entirely sure what you are talking about. To an extent, I've looked into some of these things, as there are other material planes that are clearly technologically ahead, in some ways. Anyway.
Yeah.
But there are at least devices and the like of a magical nature that mimic such things. So I kind of understand what it is, to an extent.
Right.
What is this?
I didn't finish
Like,
the
this phone-like
history
thing
thing.
that you keep. Oh, certainly.
Oh, yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
okay. Go ahead and finish what you're saying. I can talk about the phone.
Oh. But there is a device called Sending Stone. It works a lot like what I think people have been describing as phone.
Yeah,
Very,
I've heard of
very similar
those.
device.
I'm not naked, I'm
Very
just not wearing
handy.
my underwear. There's a difference. We're all naked. Damn it. Damn it.
Okay
Bit
then.
too much to drink, I'm certain.
Yeah, sounds like.
Yeesh.
But yeah.
I mean, alright, I guess.
Suppose in a world where technology isn't really that far along, this is quite strange in a especially advanced. Hello, there we go. So this is actually a light mesh here, so I can actually. The only solid parts, technically, are these hard bits you see.
Are the
that-
corners?
Yeah, when you can see when I close it.
Interesting.
Sort of serve as projectors, and they stabilize the light mesh so I can interact with it.
I think the most technological that Niobe has gotten really is firearms technology and artificer style technologies and the like. Because as far as we have at least something in the way of repeating firearms, at least.
Yeah.
And as well, there are. And I was telling this to some of the others, but I have an artificer friend who has made, who works in an artificer style that focuses a lot on being able to channel magic through automatons and the like that they make.
Like
and
Warforged,
kind
yeah?
of turning them into a. Yes, something like that. Except they don't necessarily have to have soul.
Yeah.
It is nice to know someone else who knows what I was talking about, because I saw other person here that was like Warforged, but apparently the term they have for them is synthetic.
Yeah, synthetic's the more modern sort of thing. But we do...
It makes sense.
I mean, being elves, I still have to... Even though we don't have access to arcane magics, we still have our magical education growing up.
Certainly.
Mandatory
I at least
learning for
know about
something
the
we can't
Warforged.
use. Yeah.
Certainly. I mostly, I guess, have interest in such things and knowing about the Warforged. There's one of the first realms I ever visited was Eberron itself, where they originate from. At least like that term in usage. And how they were first made to be servants in some sort of massive war, and then it just ended. So, I don't know. I have interest in such realm, but very strange
Yeah.
place. They seem to not like shapeshifters there for whatever reason. So
The word for a shapeshifter in my tongue is Molensi, and there's actually a whole thing about that. Supposedly, there's a type of Sahagin that has a skill that lets it blend in with my kind. And it's clearly just fairy tale stuff, because we were never taught that in the cause, whatever. But, basically, it's an organ that can look like elves and gather information, you know, spies, basically.
Makes sense. It is a little bit frightening to think about it.
Yeah.
The enemy being able to disguise themselves as friend. Not the most comforting of thoughts.
I think, if anything, those rumors, those myths probably came out of just traitors, and they didn't want to acknowledge that there were traitors among our people at whatever time that started up, and it just sort of caught on. That's what I think, anyway. But,
It does Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. The history stuff, yeah, it's alright, they were making their big factories and such. I guess sort of like that, Great Forge stuff. I've heard a little bit about the Eberron situation. There's Great Forges where they just produce them en masse. Obviously, having AI in there, it goes rogue. You know, as it always does. It's built by humans, you know, it's nothing surprising.
Basically, anything human makes it is likely to break after 5 seconds.
It'll either
If they
break...
turn around for just a moment...
It'll either
and
break or find a way to
suddenly
bite
building
them
is on
back.
fire.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And you think they would learn? They seem to have so much media that's all about, oh, don't mess with nature, or oh, don't mess,
Yeah.
or don't play God, or... But no.
Don't fuse the little girl in the dog, and they do it anyway.
Oh, that is... Now I'm sad. Why did you have to reference that? Now I'm sad.
I mean, it's actually part of it. History in this world, you know. It's right, that's the real sad part.
That is... I'm uncomfortable, but...
Yeah, but anyway. So it goes rogue. There's a bunch of wars happening, you know, synths versus various organic races. I'm sure at some point you've heard the word purge tossed around.
Yes.
At least in reference to a group, anyway. Yeah, things like that. At some point, Australia was able to mark a deal. They were able to get things. They were able to start rebuilding and start acknowledging synthes as, you know, as citizens and such. But there were those that obviously they'd been they've lost at the hands of these things. Yeah. And they, in their heads, obviously it's justified because these things fucked them up. They ruined their lives, basically. Someone goes around, fucks around with one of those old factories after it's been shut down and everything. These things have, like, nuclear cores.
Oh, that is... So I have vague idea of what nuclear is a concept, but I'm very happy to report that...
Really big explosion poisons the land for a long time.
That is what I've heard, yes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it has been that anyone that has looked into it that is scholar, scribe, and Naoki has mostly kept distance and intended to not record how it works for purposes of never replicating technology. They've
Honestly,
seen it as
smart
basically way too pyrrhic of a victory.
What are you doing?
Besides, magic can do so much more without poisoning land. So
Yeah.
it is...
Plus, humans can use magic. But no. Technology.
No.
I mean, I guess not all of them can use it, but enough of them can use it that could benefit their society.
I had a lot of
You think they would with like how many magic, with how many wizards or humans, at least back
Yeah.
home.
So much
of them.
We love mass.
But yes.
Mass is good. It's good for the soul.
And I suppose part of it was apparently
See that? Yes.
for much of the world.
Congratulations.
Magic and
Congratulations on your mass.
the magic worlds and technology realms of this earth have been separated for a long time.
You could do whatever you want. You could Take over the world.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Bar. Drink your own
This
drinks.
blows up, basically fucks Queensland over. Sydney's managed to get rebuild fully. Obviously, Sydney's fine. They got way too much money. But a lot of that area is just a big old wasteland now. On the good old East
Oh my
Coast.
god, what the fuck was that?
Did any of the wildlife change there? Or was it just more of a hotspot, so to speak?
Well, a lot of the there was actually one of those factories still running that wasn't as it got fucked with a bit. So it started basically making replacements for. Actually, it was part of supplying the main factories, right? Make like synthetic animal type things that would gather resources and all the like to bring it back to the factories. So a lot of that land is filled with that sort of thing. Australia had its second emu war, except this time it was mechanized emus. They won this time.
Even worse, at
Well,
least
I mean,
oh,
one in context, they got him to stay in the one area.
oh,
Yeah.
that is good.
Good enough anyway, yeah. But so that basically solves most of that issue. Ooh, I feel like I need to stand up for a moment. Hold on.
I understand. I kind of want to stand up too.
Ooh, if I'm gonna not get a headache.
Certainly. Have to stretch, yes. Yes.
I'm gonna need to scratch my foot for a minute here.
Oh, I understand, yes. I had to stretch a little bit myself, so I understand.
Right, that should be much better.
Yes. Much better.
But yeah, that's most of the history where I was from. Obviously, that did contribute to the bleaching, but we've managed to cleanse that up. You know, we've got our own nuclear factory machine things, right? They're not autonomous because humans are fucking stupid. You need to have people running them. So we have our people running our nuclear factories, and they're obviously built for underwater. They power our cities these days. And they can move in case there's any sort of disaster.
Necromantic magic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially when you can't use magic. Yeah. Because our people
also,
can't.
I've been needing to ask, what is that thing on your shoulder? Little,
Oh, right. This is
canister
we call it a camera. Hold on. It's not facing you right now, so let me just...
It is little camera. What is camera?
It's a bit hard to describe.
No,
There we go,
I
now it's
understand
looking at
camera
you.
because there are certain
You do?
spells that function like camera. Yes. There are certain
Yeah.
spells that function like it, so it is.
Alright,
it is
yeah,
not
like scrying
dissimilar
eyes and
concept.
such, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that, yeah.
And arcana, yes.
Yeah.
Especially that one. That is very popular.
This is like a live visual.
Ooh.
Yeah, so on my phone here, I actually have a little playback window. I mostly use it to so I can see behind me.
Ooh. Makes sense.
So I can see
Because
that
a woman
that
of your
lovely lady,
stature, I will-
lovely red lady just dived under someone.
Certainly. And to watch out
Interesting.
for creeps. I certainly
Yeah.
understand.
Life is about leaving a good impression.
Because I'm certain that there are many who would fetishize a woman of your culture and they like.
I suppose I don't.
It is not a process. Sorry?
Oh yeah, I don't really get hit on too much, actually. Thankfully, I suppose.
It is something that happens a decent bit back in Motherland, at least to the women a little bit. Sometimes the men, sometimes just people in general.
Yeah.
But it is really funny to watch when humans do something really stupid like that. Even if it is a bit of a bitch to clean up their teeth afterwards. But, you know, it is funny at least.
Oh yeah.
I remember, and it's
But yeah, that's basically the history lesson of my people.
It's very interesting. And it is very nice to know that in every world, humans are just stupid, flat out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do know an exception. My ex actually is if I ever take a contract that seems too good to be true, I know to bring her in to negotiate because she'll get me insurance on a fucking contract.
You kind of already have it.
Like,
Alright.
her name's Faye. She knows how to figure shit out for me when it comes to the finances. And I get paid fairly.
I know
like
of
250,000 credits on this one mission where we were supposed to be guiding the guy to the god, like I was telling you about. Granted, Zafira City, that doesn't last too long. It does not. But he gave me a nice year-ish. Yeah.
And admittedly, I do have friends that I do at least prefer to call on for these sorts of things. His name is Dexter. He's a Druidson as well as I guess I didn't explain, but in Naoki there are 3 races that originate from it. There is Mori, there is Druidson, and the Arnevian. I've already explained the Arnevian. The Druidson are something of like otter people. I believe in some worlds they are called Otzel, I think? Yes, his name is Dexter. He likes talk, he likes interacting with people. He's something of a shyster, I've heard some people call it. But,
How do we go from pregnant woman to boobs?
by the way, your friend seems at least distracted, I guess.
Sorry,
how
say
do you
again?
know that?
If Lila's allowed to wear a shirt that
Your friend, Miss Red?
Oh, I don't actually know that red lady,
don't
but
know
she
her?
is all over the place. No, she was just like I just noticed she looked quite nice when she came up. So I listened to us for a bit.
Oh. Fair enough, I suppose. I'd be lying if I would be lying if I said that you were not a pretty face. And beyond, you know, but
Yeah.
it is crude to talk in such a way. At least I think so. But
I mean, go ahead. I don't hear it very often.
it is just very interesting. Your skin tone is not too dissimilar to a woman of my women of my kin, or I guess female kin of mine from my particular part of the motherland. As they tend to be rather sort of deep sea blues and the like. It's
Yeah.
not too dissimilar. So, the green hair is different, but it complements your complexion rather nicely.
Thanks. Yeah, sort of stuff where because it blends us in with the flora underwater. You know, seaweeds and such.
Makes sense. You wouldn't perhaps think it, but Mori are pretty decent swimmers. I mean, on their backs, that is why.
Yeah.
Kind of cheating in that way. That and those are maybe a little bit better than humans for travel and the like. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Little bit maybe. Obviously better for grappling trees and like climbing surfaces. And yes, some of us do enjoy sleeping upside down. Stereotype, but it's stereotype for a reason. You know.
Yeah.
This place is so very interesting, admittedly.
Yeah, there's a lot of
The woman
people.
at the door sounded.
Hmm.
The woman at the door was like, "Oh yes, this will suppress all sorts of abilities, transformations," and I was just like, "Yeesh, all these people have transformations." I just know how
Certain
to be
people do.
quiet and how to use a bow.
I think some of them it's actually just part of their trade skills, you know. Like certain types of Dark Knights have these weird like beast transformation-y things where they're like covered in muscle and like chitin or
Like
something.
a lycanthrope.
No, not exactly, but
Sort of
there are
like
also
lycanthrope.
those kinds of people that are around too.
Certainly. It was just very strange to hear about that at the door, really. Because it's like, I
Yeah.
just know how to slit someone's throat and not be noticed. That's all. You know. It is not hard.
Oh yeah.
Distract them with something. You stick the shadow. You make sure to press down with foot just right. And then it is not hard. And humans
Oh.
themselves are so easily distracted. It's funny.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm quite easily
Not
distracted.
to sound casually racist. Yes, that is fair. Sometimes I've had the devil take at certain sounds because it is well, you
Yeah.
already know pain and suffering. You have big ears too. You already
Yeah,
know.
listening to them talk
I
over
don't
there is
explain.
a little interesting.
Little distracting. Yes.
Working, my friend. Working.
They mentioned something about being pregnant a little bit ago, and I was like,
Yeah.
what?
How did you get boobs from pregnancy? It's like, I mean, that doesn't sound like that far of a leap. I mean, they do get bigger. But anyway.
Out of curiosity, and this is just more from my own curiosity. So obviously,
Well, I've never
breasts
had
are meant
kids.
to produce milk. Well, no, I was not
Yeah.
going to. I was not going to ask that. But do aquatic elves still produce milk? And still
Yes,
actually
because
use
we're still... Honestly, we're still originally a
mammalian?
land-dwelling race. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like,
I was just a little bit
sea
curious.
cows and whales, like, you know, they still produce milk.
Fair enough. I was just a little bit curious because there is a world with lizard folk. They are called Argonians, and the females have boobs, and it confuses me immensely. Like, why? What purpose? Because lizard folk of like the other realms, they don't do that. Only this one particular like material plane, and they have boobs for some reason. It's confusing.
Well, one thing in
you know,
that our people teach, right? Part of it is that, what was it? Right, part of it is believed to be attracting a mate. Because even cultures that haven't really put some weird fashion situation on tits, right? Still have a strong fixation on them. So that's the
It does
main
make sense,
theory we
yes.
have.
Granted, that does make sense. There wasn't a synthetic in here that was, well, maybe even a bit unnecessarily. Their chassis was very effeminate, you might say, to put it at least in less crude terms. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of them are sort of built to try to fit in with, you know, the human races primarily.
Which seems a little strange because what even is the concept of gender to people like that? You know? People that can be created out of nothing.
I suppose the idea is that it looks nice whoever would own them. There's still places in this world where, obviously, they are still property.
Which is unfortunate to hear, at least if
I
they
think,
have sentience of any variety.
I think Zafira actually has questionable things on their rights, so it's not unlikely to see like permanently hardwired synthetic drivers in like the richer people's cars.
That sounds about right, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it has just been nice to have at least been in just one conversation and not trying to keep up with multiple
Yeah.
all at once. At least I think so.
I think our little
It's,
history
it's
discussion
interesting,
scared away that little group we had originally.
Probably, yes. But I do not think it is worst thing, really.
Yeah.
Some of them probably had to go to bed. Because at least, let me see.
Well, first time I've gotten to talk about history, really.
Certainly. I had to explain myself a little bit because people didn't even know what I was.
The only thing my friends really got all that worried about was the whole hag situation because, you know, I've done some shit.
That is, no, it's fair.
Yeah.
People hear hag and they immediately assume the worst, which is fair. Because of the fake creature. So.
Even in their situation, it's fair. They can be quite harsh. Like, you steal from them, you may or may not get, 3 tons permanently attached to you. Until somehow your friend, theoretically, right, starts fucking with it, and maybe it attaches to him. And maybe you start realizing a few months later that maybe the connection's still between both of you. But, theoretically.
That sounds rather unfortunate, honestly.
Less theoretically, if you steal something from them, you could maybe end up with some of soul rot, Less theoretically, because I may have stolen some things. They weren't there, so I figured it'd be fine. But, curses and hexes are still something that our hags can do as well.
Which is unfortunate, but I suppose it is just the way things have to be sometimes.
Yeah.
So. Either way, it is very interesting to see what kind of individuals are here. There was a woman that I guess was entirely invisible except for the clothing she had.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's still around.
I'm
Not to say
curious
any of
what
this
she
has been
looks
boring,
like.
it is just...
It's like a... What if I just, coat her in paint just to see what she's like,
I could
What
see
if
at
she's ever
least
tried that?
slight traces of light reflect.
Oh, yeah.
I do wonder, but I did see slight traces of light, so I don't think she's entirely translucent. Maybe mostly. Sort of like invisibility. It makes you mostly translucent. Or at least the technological versions of invisibility. Whereas regular invisibility, whereas magic invisibility is
Active
perfect,
camo and
but,
such, yeah.
technological invisibility, not quite.
Kind of want to
Technological, not
try. Part of me has kind of
those,
wanted to get active camo, but being a heavy hitter is not all that useful for me.
Certainly.
But it's
like
cool
those,
shit.
Like those Hish... Yes, but the effect probably looks a little bit like those Hishkuten tribes people that use the arm gauntlet blades. Yes, in the little boom cannons similar to your camera in placement. You know what I'm talking about? No? Like them.
I'm trying to think. I
Yes,
don't think I've
no.
run into any of those.
It is more things that I've at least heard about. Admittedly, it is not
Does it
something
make
I
like a
myself
clicking
have
noise
encountered.
or something?
Yes, yes.
I think
it
I've
does.
seen
And
like a
they
movie
have
with something like
sort
that.
of, and they have this weird sort of it seems like tentacles, but on back of head, and they don't really do anything. They don't move.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
They just kind of exist. It's like hair, but it is still more like tentacles. It is weird.
Flesh hair,
Because
yeah.
they exist. They do exist, but they keep to themselves. They just hunt. So it is.
yeah.
It is not bad. Not bad to deal with. That and they tend to hunt humans a lot, so it is very fun. At least I find it amusing.
I mean, hey,
Not to-
find the
not to be
craziest
racist,
fuckers to hunt, you know. You're gonna have an interesting hunt. It's kind of why I don't necessarily fuck with humans specifically. I just take contracts because don't want to really get involved with, especially like these bigger groups. Like they have these guilds. It's one of them I heard is like Aegis. I've heard rumors about the people that run this place. If you hit any of them, the entire place will come down on you.
I mean, I have no reason to,
Yeah.
but I assume it is just them trying to be nice to everybody. That is all. You know?
Yeah.
At least I assume so.
I mean, hey, protect your own. So I kind of get it, but
Did you want to?
so I'll just
Did you want
scan
to
in
look
the room.
around here a little bit?
Yeah, I
No,
could introduce you to a friend of mine.
How
I
about
think
we
he's
look
over
around?
there.
Oh, alrighty.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's do it.
Unless he moved, let me check. Nope. Okay, he's still over there, must be.
I could do that if I tried hard enough.
Excuse me?
Yeah, are you speaking from experience?
Oh, there he is.
Six hell hands.
So it's a three-person song.
You need 6 hands?
Hey, Keith.
To play Rush E completely? Yes.
That's interesting.
This is Keith.
Especially after it gets to the point where it literally just becomes slamming the keys.
From what I understand, he's a bit more similar to the Warforged thing with the whole soul situation.
I'm sorry, wolf
Except that was the
orgy?
soul of an actual person.
Yeah, not artificial.
Manufactured one.
Oh, that is what you mean. Oh.
Yeah.
Was a little confused by meaning.
Still, you did great, Keith. It's always a wonder to hear you playing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh boy.
Never mind. Take your mind off things.
Heading out, Keith? Oh, running around.
No.
Just gonna introduce you to my new friend Oak.
That's okay. I got some nice sunglasses out of it.
Hello there.
Nice to meet you.
It is nice to meet you as well, Mr. Keith.
Cheating?
You as well.
What cheating?
Yeah. He's a Neruvian?
Mori.
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 Right.
Yeah.
That's the other one.
Romance isn't right for us right now.
Dear, yes, sorry, I know I've thrown a lot of these hard and fast, as they is it
Yeah,
said
I'm
in common.
So I can get a nice pair
not
of
the thinking
Yes.
type, so.
It is fine. Because I realize I've had to grow up with these words, so they're almost like secondhand to me.
Yeah, I have taken other people's.
Yeah.
You know, it is like saying human. It is just
Oh,
not difficult. It's not
Actually, yeah.
hard.
Now that we're standing here.
Exactly at times.
Ooh, there's that flux we all know and love.
Performance done by Poi here shortly. If you're interested, please make your way there and please enjoy yourself.
Right. So I can show you more of the,
I guess
the
they're
phone
going to do a
situation.
performance.
Yeah, it'll be up at the stage right there. Well, this is a business card from someone recently.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, this is actually a site from my people.
Over there trying to take someone else's soul. It's a devil thing, you know.
It's very
Makes us more
different from
Yeah,
anything
it's,
I've ever seen before.
Olon Achar. Yeah.
What does
It's a-
what does it translate to?
What are you, Envy then?
It's basically a contract site.
No, I'm Greed.
Oh, well, all right.
Yeah. And also, gives me the old news on the homeland. Whenever I decide to look at it.
She got a little bit of a tum-tum.
I thought so.
I don't really have anything that impressive. Magic
No, you're
is
fine.
not exactly strong suit.
Plus, it's not
Mostly
really
a lot of it is
loud here. We'd
Plus
have to
it's
go
not-
outside to see that.
yes.
Devils come in slower variants.
Or we could go. Oh, but Miss Coral, we could just go somewhere private instead. If you want to see magic. Sorry, I had to.
Well, yeah, you're a
Sorry.
charmer, alright.
I was simply enjoying the piano playing.
I try. I try. But in all seriousness, most of what I know is just manipulating certain things. That is all. I would hardly call it
I got a question
magic.
for you.
Yeah.
Are you able to tell if
Things
someone
like how to
stole it?
make smoke appear out of thin air. That sort of thing. Not,
Oh, yeah.
not a whole lot. Being able to infuse a weapon with more and elemental panache. That sort of thing.
But you could probably lead one on.
You know.
Oh, yeah, like what do they call them? Fast enchants? Quick enchants? Those types of things? Oh, this performance has already started. Let's go catch it, I suppose.
Don't tell me not to fly. I simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Who told you you were allowed to rain on my parade? I'll march my band out, and I'll beat my drum. And if I'm fanned out, your turn at bat, sir. At least I didn't fake it, sir. I guess I didn't make it, but whether I'm the rose of sheer perfection, a freckle on the nose of life's complexion, the cinder or the shiny apple of its eye. I gotta fly once, I gotta try once, only can die once, right, sir? Oh, life is juicy, juicy, and you see, I gotta have my bite, sir. Get ready for me, love, 'cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march my heart to drama. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. I'm gonna live and live now. Get what I want, I know how. One roll for the whole shebang. One throw, that bell will go clang. Eye on the target and wham. One shot, one gunshot and bam! Hey, Mr. Arnstein, here I am. I'll march my band out. I'll beat my drum. And if I'm fanned out, your turn at bat, sir. At least I didn't fake it, sir. Guess I didn't make it. Get ready for me, love, 'cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march my heart to drum. And no, nobody is gonna rain on my parade.
I realized you were yes.
I was thinking so, dog, huh?
Very good performance, yes. Wonderful.
You're either scaring me or trying something.
What?
That was very good performance, yes.
That I am.
Very good performance. Good job.
I love
yes.
it. I love Boo. I have no idea if I should sing another.
And I saw you looking at me too.
I mean, I could.
I call you.
But would you... Alright then, I can sing one more.
Yeah, what? I mean, sorry.
I'm not doing hot.
I don't have time for dancing. That's just gonna have to wait a while. Ain't got time for messing around, and it's not my style. This whole town could smell you down, people taking the easy way. But I know exactly where I'm going and getting closer and closer every day, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. People down here think I'm crazy, but I don't care. Trials and tribulations, I've had my share. There ain't nothing gonna stop me now, 'cause I'm almost there. Ooh, I remember what Daddy told me. Fairy tales can come true. You gotta make them happen. It all depends on you. So I work real hard each and every day. Now things for sure are going my way. Just doing what I do. Look out, boys, coming through, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. People gonna come here from everywhere, 'cause I'm almost there. I'm almost there. There's been trials and tribulations. You know I've had my share, but I've climbed the mountain, I've crossed the river, and I'm all.
Level 4.
Honest boy. Oh, so close. Honest boy.
It is very
What a shame.
unfortunate. Dang it. This material plane seems rather, let us say, loose with people, no? People keep calling it this flux thing, but
That's
I've
what
at least
happens
seen
when
people sent back to their material plane through Go ahead.
it happens with the whole dimensional crossroads thing, right? So you've had a bit about that for this place.
It sounds about right. It is what I'm told is what happens when people cast banishment on those that are not of whatever material plane they happen to be in, you know? Something to that effect.
Pretty similar to that. It's, how do I describe this? Kind of just a side effect of having the realms so close together in this place, basically.
Certainly. It is unfortunate. She had nice voice.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Very nice voice. Very different from her talking voice, but that is not too surprising. I can sometimes do different little voices. Like there is what is it? One bit of media with this man that runs around with baseball bat. I believe it is called. And he's like, what is it? 1 second. Yes, it is like.
Grass grows, birds fly, sun shines, and brother, I heart people.
You know, he sounds like that.
Yeah.
I just find him very bemusing, you know. And so I understand when people sound a little different from how they normally sound, you know. But I don't know, it's just a little bit interesting, you know.
I'm not too
Admittedly, I didn't really
fancy with my voice, but
sorry?
I can play around a little.
sometimes it is just best to give effort in general. You don't always need to be so fanciful with things, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I do
It's
have...
not required.
I do have a
You do
fairly
what?
dynamic range, at least. Like, you know, I can bring it real low, or I can go fairly high. It's not super high, but, you know, it's a decent range.
Certainly, it is
Yeah.
something, you know? It is better than nothing.
Yeah. Not the best for
Admittedly, I didn't really...
sort of singing or anything like that, but yeah.
Certainly. Admittedly, I didn't really know what I was going to be getting into when I got an invitation to this place. But this has been nice.
Yeah. Just be careful with the rain. That's not normal rain. Fairly polluted. It's mostly it's chemical we call coolant.
That sounds rather not pleasant.
Yeah.
Very different from back home. Rashk likes to go ahead and make it literally rain across the motherland. Oh, right, he is the god of storms and archery. Right, I forget that, sometimes I forget I'm talking to people that don't know.
Yeah. I don't even remember our gods off the top of my head. We still have like a... We still have faith, it's just not as common these days.
I understand that. At least for Naoki, it is almost seen as a mandatory understanding of the gods and their place in the cosmos and the like. You know?
Yeah. And you know this one,
It's not like you're...
Umbali. I don't remember what they're all about. They might have been a bit of a dickbag. I don't remember. But it is one of them. I personally never looked too far into the old faith stuff for my people.
I mean, why bother at this point? It sounds like they very much abandoned you to your fate. You know? It is not like Vetrukla's loving embrace. Or even the protection of Krevmistro, god of blood trickery.
A lot of the gods in this world don't necessarily have the same access to the material plane. Like ones from other worlds, obviously, they have a lot more freedom here because they're not under the same old covenants that the gods native to this world have been forced into.
Very much so. Honestly, the only god that I can think of that is part of Motherland that doesn't strictly stay within Motherland is probably Krevmistro. And his son, Razvet. They are both dedicated to looking out over Naoki and her people.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so, since Krevmistro himself used to be a Mori before he martyred himself to end something of a civil war my people had. So, ironically, the civil war had started over how exactly we were going to treat the humans. Ironically.
Yeah.
Freaking humans. Always causing problems.
Aurelion, yeah, he's a pretty important one. But he's not one that's really specific to us, though. He's just sort of general for the elves. You know, the father of all elves and all that such nonsense.
in your case, I would say maybe replace the slit with.
That sounds about right. It is just like how Vitrukla is the patron goddess of the Mori, and Buni is the patron goddess of the Druzen. And I guess you could say Razezlo is the patron goddess of the Ernevian, but she doesn't give even two shites about them. So hard to call her patron of anything besides herself.
It sounds like that drow goddess, you know? Loth just sort of uses her people as a vessel and nothing else.
Certainly. Except she doesn't turn them into spider people, she just leaves them in a hellscape surrounded by other demons. By actual demons.
My lovelies, hello. How are you? Mind if I sit
Oh,
down?
g'day, gorgeous. How you
certainly.
doing?
Doing great. What are we talking about over here with these two
hello.
fabulous people?
Ain't just talking
Why
about our
not make the
homelands.
conversation about you, Prophet?
Oh, please, not me. What about him? He's so much. He's new and interesting here. He doesn't have any much friends here.
Oh.
I bet he has so many stories to tell.
I know that.
Well, I can tell you some somewhat aquatic.
You two have similar hair colors.
Yeah.
Are you part Triton?
I am. Half.
Ah.
What's the other half?
Human.
Damn it. I made a bet in my head.
What, do you think I was
Didn't
gonna
work
be
out.
one of those more complicated people that I've seen, like half fucking demon, half wolf or some stupid shit like that? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking underneath all of this hair, you're hiding a
half
wolf
demon,
ears.
half angel, half god.
Half golf course champion.
Because, you know, three halves work into one person.
It is okay. I've heard worse. There was half goldfish, half mind flayer.
It's interesting.
That is a lot. Have you guys seen the plush shark going around? Now that was a funny one.
I saw that thing.
There is
That
a
thing right there.
sentient plush shark floating around. Where is it? Is
Those
it
are
yeah, there it is.
two
Sorry, I didn't
Mecca
even see it.
people.
It's so small. Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
yeah. Very cute. Adorable. I wouldn't tell them that because I'm fairly sure that might be offensive or something, but it is.
It's still interesting, however, you know?
Very interesting. It's very interesting.
Mm.
Oh, anyway. If anyone doesn't know my name prior, I'm Red. Pleasure to meet you all.
I'm Taito.
I'm Oak.
Everyone calls me Coral.
Oh, that's a beautiful
I'm
name.
sorry, what did you say your name was, sir? Just to make sure.
Taito.
Daito.
Alright. Just wanted to make sure.
Is it Dido or Tido?
Taito. T-I-T-O.
Oh yes, it is
Oh, your
like
name could be like
a...
Tidal. That's a cool name.
T-I-T-O.
Yeah,
Parents
close
miss
enough,
you
but I
for
do
this.
believe I said that.
Yeah,
The mystery about me is
there's
was
the
I-
real
am
goddess
I
you gotta worry about in
named-
this world is the flux.
You know, my favorite part when everyone starts talking about that is when it.
Oh. Motherfucker.
Yeah, pretty sure they're one of the staff. They got a
That
nice
is-
little fancy ability to... they're able to use their abilities and such.
They're able to abuse goddess, huh?
Yeah.
Able to degrade her as if they are into that sort of thing. Yes.
Yeah.
If I may ask, not being rude, what are you exactly?
Oh, I'm Mori. I believe easiest way to explain in common is bat folk, basically. I know the half-beak is confusing. I'm aware of that.
That's-
I've gotten
that's what
comments, do
confused
not
me.
worry. Yes, only third of my kin have half-beak, most do not.
Ah.
It is sometimes human-like nose, other times it is Other times it is more of a bat nose, and like, you know, there's some variety.
All this eye candy.
How was your trip?
It was good. Very abrupt. One sec. I saw someone I know.
Alright.
Does everybody here have ADHD?
I'm pretty sure I've noticed that person. Oh, oh, oh.
Are you
Oh, I
alright?
felt that in my
Headaches
ears
getting
that
to you a
time.
little bit?
Yeah, the flux hit pretty hard right there. Yeah, you weren't here earlier, but like I was telling you, like, she dove under someone. Like, I caught that in my camera.
I did see that too.
Yeah.
It was interesting to say the least.
Weird.
I'm guessing like she was being, I don't remember exactly, she was like being chased or something and dove under someone to get away. Either that or she was chasing after someone. I don't know. Bad memory.
Why not say both?
Probably both,
Let's just say
honestly. I mean, hey, if you see Sachi running around, at all, you can basically guarantee that someone in that train is running from him while chasing someone else.
I guess I'm a little bit surprised how relaxed it is here, because, I don't know, just the way that the invitation made it sounded like it was going to be really packed, but apparently it is full house here, evidently. At least, as far as I'm aware.
I feel I'm not used to this kind of thing, because I'm not from here. Like, I don't know what that is. I barely know what the fuck that does. I'm not used to technology.
So I'm guessing you don't have a
If it makes
timepiece.
you feel any better.
Pretty sure you
I
don't have a
some
timepiece
idea as to
either.
what is going on?
What?
I don't know what that is. Do you mean like a clock on your wrist?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Timepiece? Oh, that is what you mean. Pocket watches tend to be really popular back home. I mean, we have firearms. It is not like it is too. I know what a pocket watch is.
I mean,
I was more so trying to ask her.
It's not like this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
more with gears.
Either
That's
you
all.
knows what the Central Zafira time is.
Certainly. But I understand where you are coming from, Taito. As it is more like magic
Check on my own
and
phone.
magic and a bit of gears, a few other things here or there, a little bit of light machining, that sort of thing.
Ooh, I should be heading out
Just a
soon.
bit more of a
But
focus into
I
the
can stay a little bit.
Certainly.
Welcome back, gorgeous. How you doing?
Thank you very much.
Find your
everybody.
friend?
Sorry, I had to get. I did. It was a good time, but now I'm back. Wow, you
She
have an
feeling
arm
your-
thing. What's on your arm thing?
Oh, it's just my old phone, you know.
It disappeared. Oh my, it got small. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, you know, just I flick it and it pops open.
Now that's called fashion and function. There we go.
Yeah.
You are what they say in common,
Are
a
you
mile
hiding
a
a phone
minute.
in your bracelet?
No, I'm not. I'm not used to that.
I don't have any phones in my cufflinks, unfortunately. I wish.
Yeah, these aren't really
Or any of that.
catching on in the northern hemisphere as quickly, but you know, it's just
I
made by
mean, I
Veritech.
can-
You can probably find it online.
I can cast little effect to make
I can
camera.
send you a link
That
at some
is-
point.
That is
Yeah.
about it.
Oh,
It
you
is
mean
not
the
anything
flies.
fanciful.
Whenever I see one of these around, I just assume it's a fly, and you just go, yeah.
Eh, It is intangible
Not that it's
object.
actually
It
what
is
it
not
is, but it's
touched.
funny that way.
But certainly, you are, as the humans would say, a mile a minute. I believe.
Oh, terribly sorry. I do that.
That
I
is not-
terribly am sorry.
That is not derogatory.
Oh.
Whoever said it was.
Milady, come down! Come down! I'll hold you down! I'll hold you down!
I
Want to
thought
take you, not while we are around.
And
Oh.
humans think that only the people that cannot speak their tongues are so literal. It is just
Let me
little
just
fun.
flick through the news real quick here.
It is okay.
Oh fuck, he's dead. Oh well.
Oh shit, no! That guy! Or woman. That individual!
Just a scientist, no big deal.
Oh, that's a shame. It's sad when people die.
Yeah, I mean, fucking shit's bound to happen, you know. Actually, what was it? Let me pull it back up.
Certainly.
Wow.
I had to go to my great
Yeah, box jellyfish.
grandfather's funeral not too long ago.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
It
That
was
must be really sad.
was a little sad. Certainly.
Oh.
It was a little bit
Were you
sad,
too
but it
close?
is nice knowing that he's... I'm sorry?
Were you too close?
I suppose so. Admittedly, death is not something that is seen as a sad thing in Mori culture. Especially because that means you are therefore sent up to Vetrukla, the Wing Mother.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
Certainly. Certain. And, well, it was more of a celebration of what he had done in life than anything else. You know,
There you go.
almost a party. Maybe a little bit too much Krevioffy there, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Probably too much. Oh, right,
Well, in my
Krevioffy
opinion,
is...
it's you find a lot less reasons to celebrate in this life than you do to find, you know, to be sad about things. So if you can find a little bit of joy in celebration or something, why not go for it?
Certainly. I like how you think, little one.
I am little. I am little.
Oh, there she goes.
You mildly mean it, that one.
That was something I almost forgot. Was
You
the
not-
we were talking about the racial differences thing, right?
Mhm.
I actually do have if
Sir.
you look closely, I have a thin layer of scales.
Oh, I can kind of see that. It reminds me of how the inside
him
of
pick up
Mori
the light
wings, they're sort
nicely.
of like a... It is hard to tell, admittedly, especially since I'd like to just, you know, keep my wings folded up, but there is like a sort of soft, leathery down, I think it is called, on the inside of Mori wings.
Ah, yeah.
It is very nice. It is sometimes how we keep warm in the colder climates, somewhat.
Yeah. Others of my kind, you can see it more clearly, but I don't
Very
really
soft.
polish it so much like others. Beauty stuff's not exactly my style.
I understand. There are some Mori that prefer to clip their talons. It is not really much my style to be in the... It is kind of nice on occasion.
Yeah, but like I said with the whole
there a little bit.
yeah, the whole situation is about and the guild when I was telling you about covering up, that's about the extent of makeup I've ever done.
I think
Except
the
for
most that they really do is trim down fingernails.
Please start making your way to the front. Thank you.
oh, they're closing. Except for my first
they're
date with
about to
my ex,
close?
I did wear
Wow.
makeup, but my friend did that for me.
I did not realize it was about to close. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a little earlier than it does sometimes, but I suppose.
I guess I'm not too
Fuck
surprised,
me,
but
mate.
it was very nice meeting you all.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Getting hit a little bit harder, Miss Coral.
Yeah. So I've been keeping my eyes more open the entire time, and I think it's catching up with me.
Certainly. We should go ahead and hang out sometime.
Yeah,
Miss
sure.
Coral.
I guess you don't really have a phone yet,
Oh.
so you'll have to contact me.
Yeah, I have. No, it is all right. I have friends that can do that. It is no problem.
Yeah.
That and I have a few scrolls. Friends that personal use. It is fine.
Yeah. Hey, Taida, you got a phone
It should not
at
be a
all?
problem.
I do not know.
Ah, shite. Well,
I forget one.
Anyway, good to meet you, but I do have to be going, unfortunately.
yeah. Cheers.
There's
Alright, to be fair, we all do, but yeah, cheers.
But yes, I do not have a phone now.
Any way I can contact you? Like, because I can't really do magic-y shite, you know?
Well, until I get one, the main place where I relax at is a place called the Red Wilds. So it's a guild.
Well, I can look into it, but I don't think I've ever really heard about it personally. Actually, no, I heard someone talking about it. Someone Keith was chasing. That's right. That's about all I've heard so far.
And anyone can come into it, so... Although I'm an actual guild member there, so...
Oh, yeah. I'll see about it, see if I can find you there. I'll also be here again tomorrow.
Yes, hello there. The height complex, clearly.
Have you washed your hands?
And for personal reasons, things you don't really got to worry about right now, but it would probably be better if I waited like a minute or two after you headed out, like when you get into your taxi.
Feel better about themselves.
As far as leaving the Lotus location, you know.
Don't let it get to them.
Okay, explain another time.
Sure.
Just remember, next time the shorty causes problems for you, let me know and I'll go and punt them.
I gotta head in. I got groceries for Miss Alibi.
I would say, fuck's Alibi?
One of Sachi's kids. Yeah, she's in the office.
In the office? They gave me a list of stuff. It's just some food items and candy.
Okay, for staff reasons, I will follow you.
Oh, I'm also staff. I work at the cafe.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the cafe. Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, they work at the cafe.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I still follow the rules no matter what. I'm good kid.
You're a good kid. I've never been to the cafe. Is it good?
It is nice. They have they have food from my home there.
They merged with Garda and I forgot about it.
It's a small establishment, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Perfect enough for gardening.
You think he's in his taxi by now? Probably good to go. The half Triton fellow that left ahead of me.
Oh. Probably.
Yeah, it's probably safe now.
What, were you trying to get away from him?
Oh no. There's personal things don't want to really talk about.
Got it.
Ah.
Wait. Be
No, the
careful,
gold.
Mother
No, the
Saphira.
gold.
I know. Gangs and shit, bad people, scrappers. I know. It's not that.
Shouldn't unprovoked.
Yeah,
Not that out.
Yeah.
Yes, but funny enough, I can
Gold.
turn this model into optimized.
Is that my fellow Aussie?
I found more gold. I'm actually not.
Yeah, I saw you were here, and I was like, here we go.
I'm sorry to betray you like this,
Here.
Red.
Hey,
It's alright.
hey, you want me to show you how we show our gold in the demon world?
Alright.
Uppercut. Bitch
Oh, the flex
slap.
though.
And then finally,
Yeah, they got the.
poke in the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you and I was like, I gotta go into my fist boy.
Yeah. I was like, she was looking you down like, I already want it now. I know how much it's gonna feel as soon as I see him outside. The fucking gold.
Wait, so I was so confused on what she told him to do.
She's like, could you go ahead of me so I can not see the gold is basically what she was saying. Like, because as soon as we're outside of the range of that thing, I'm gonna try to steal it.
Good luck, this shit's tight. You gotta like unlock it from his wrists. And
Yeah, it's not a conscious decision.
Yes, man. He's got some of his uncles too. He's got what?
But you know what? I'm happy.
I
My
almost added
accent
one
was
on his neck,
enough
but I didn't.
to convince an Aussie.
Nice.
That's the.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my voice acting is terrible.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's
It's still pretty dark. Yeah, probably have to like
probably ask Kirby on the
Ooh, really?
I just.
That's shock!
I did enjoy like turning around.
It's just a plus shot going around. I love it.
Yeah, the plus shot.
I aim to please.
I did enjoy seeing the little red peeking over the corner and be like,
at this point.
good eye. And just like, oh, good eye.
Someone get aided.
Oh, the flux.
So sad.
She's dying.
I'm not luxing. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
if you want to bother.
You know what might help me not flux just a tiny bit more? Goodbye, stream. Mwah, mwah. Au revoir.
Bye!
I mean, that camera doesn't have other people